everybody. Welcome to the sixth and final video of your first class meeting. Thank you for persevering through this structure, and I hope that you've had fun. So let's review the problem-solving cycle and understand that we are not going to get to all the components of that cycle tonight, but we will do it in our second session. This problem-solving cycle is very important because you're going to be needing it for your lesson plan and your assessment plan, and it is something that you are going to engage in over and over again as you work with your students. So before the solving session, the teacher sets the context for the math problem. What's reasonable, maybe an estimation, not telling what to do, asking kids to think about what they know and what they don't know. During the solving session, if I was in the classroom with you, I would circulate and notice what you were thinking about, and I would talk to you and ask you questions. I wouldn't tell you what to do next. I might say, "Can you tell me about your thinking here? Can you explain why you did this first? How did you decide to do this right here?" Right? So really opening up with soft, inviting questions that are warm, yet demanding a lot of information and justification from the student. And then after, we will engage in an open strategy share, which is what we would do next week. In 2 weeks. So you'll be excited to participate in this. So I will select and sequence strategies to share, considering the learning progression. Which ones are more concrete, which ones are most abstract, and how do I order them so people can make connections between them. And the students, not me, the students will share their thinking, and I might ask some bridging or facilitating questions to help other members of the class to connect those concepts. So while we've only done the first part so far, how does this problem-solving cycle feel the same or different to how you remember learning math in school? Where and how did you learn new ways to solve? Take about a minute to pause the video and do a stop and jot reflection. All right. Brief introduction to the standards of mathematical practice. You've probably heard of the Common Core State Standards. In mathematics, there are two strands of standards that we are responsible for teaching our children. One is the content standards, which are differentiated by grade level, and the others are the standards of mathematical practice, which are essentially habits of mind that span grades TK to 12. Here they are in kid-friendly versions. I can solve problems without giving up. I can think about numbers in many ways. I can explain my thinking and try to understand others. I can show my work in many ways. I can use math tools and tell why I chose them. I can work carefully and check my work. I can use what I know to solve new problems, and I can solve problems by looking for rules and patterns. Next time we meet, we will dig more deeply into the actual language of these practices, but I want you to leave you today thinking about your mathematical experience with the Grandma and Ivan and Acrobat problem and how that differs from the traditional math classroom and how it employs the mathematical practices. So finally, we have an assignment that's due at the beginning of class meeting number 2. This assignment is in Canvas for you as well. It's called the Analysis of Teaching. It's 20 points. So let's go to Canvas and have a look at what this assignment looks like. So here it is. You're going to watch this video.
Writing's not that
And
easy,
I'm sorry
but
about the
Grammarly can help.
ad.
This sentence is grammatically correct.
Can you make
So you're going to watch this video,
number sentence?
okay? And you can watch it as many times as you want. It's not limited, so don't worry. And then you're going to complete this template, which asks you some questions about the teacher and the student. So I want you to be mindful as you're working through this to really be thinking about questions or observations related to the math instruction, okay? So when you look at the video sample, you're going to record 5 or more observations or noticings related to math instruction and learning you have about the teacher. Then record some observations or noticings related to math instructions or learning you have about the students. List 5 or more questions you might pose to the teacher about her practice or to the students about their thinking. Please do show me that you are asking a student by putting an S at the end and a teacher by putting a T at the end of the question. And then we're going to do something called interpreting. And this is just an initial benchmark intake for me to see how you all are doing on this. We're going to be working on this a lot throughout the course. But think about two students, and you can just describe them by what they're wearing. What do you think each student understands about the mathematics? You can identify them by name or clothing. So say, for example, you can say, oh, the student in the red shirt understood this because he or she said this. So make sure that you justify why you think that. All right? So that's due at the beginning of class on Monday the 13th. Okay. Here is an example. Here you're going to see, I'm going to add video 6 momentarily, but here is your links document, which now you've been using because we're on video 6. But I wanted to make sure I showed it to you. Sorry, I'm getting tired too. All right. So let's just tie this up here. So there's your document. And finally, for today, you're going to read chapters 1 and 2 before we meet next. They are in Canvas for you in case you haven't gotten the text, but I do recommend getting the book because it's a good resource. Complete and submit the assignment. Make sure that you've done the survey, the life and numbers, and the Acrobat problem. And I'll see you next week. Contact me with questions. Have a great week. Good night.